Hi and welcome back to another practice. I'm Scarlett and today we'll be doing wall yoga. Please make sure you have a blanket and then optionally 2 blocks. We're going to get started right away at standing, so you can go ahead and stand up, and we're just going to make some space for our breath and our shoulders. So to begin, turn so that the right side of your body is facing towards the wall, and then bring your right hand onto the wall with your index finger straight up. You want to look over at your hands and make sure that your right wrist is in line with your right shoulder. You can go ahead and bring your left hand to your hip. Feel your right hand against the wall. Take a breath in to lengthen up into your spine. And then as you exhale, drop your shoulders down and begin to rotate towards the center of your room. Keep your right hand onto the wall, and you can either pause to face your toes at a diagonal, or you could turn yourself to face towards the middle of your room. And then we're just going to pause here and breathe. So once you get yourself situated, close your eyes and tune inwards into your breath. Use your breath as a pathway to draw yourself deeper inside your body. Feeling into any sensations that you might be feeling through your right shoulder, the right side of your chest, even into your right arm here. And take an inhale where you are. And as you exhale, you can open your eyes and turn yourself back to face the right. Stretch your arms down alongside your body with your palms forward and your fingers spread. And stand into Tadasana, just taking a moment between sides to check in. Just noticing what you feel. And then open your eyes, and we'll do the second side. So turn yourself around with your feet hip-width distance apart. Extend your left arm out, place your palm onto the wall, and bring your right hand to your hip. Gaze at your left hand and make sure your hand is about shoulder level. It's okay if it's a little off. With your left index finger pointing straight up and a strong grip through your fingerprints. And take a breath in here to really find your long spine. And then as you exhale, keep your left palm rooted. Begin to turn your toes to the right, towards the center. And then you pause at more of a diagonal to make the stretch a little bit less intense. Or you can also turn your toes so they face towards the center of your room and the back of your mat. And then once you get yourself situated, this is your time to pause, to breathe, and to feel in. Really seeing where you can direct your breath. Slowing it down and making it more spacious. Take one more breath in here. And as you exhale, open your eyes and turn back to the left. Reach your arms down, palms open, and take a moment to reset and connect back in. And softly open your eyes, and we'll take another shoulder stretch beginning on the right side again. So this time stand right up against the wall with your feet still hip-width distance apart, left hand to your hip. Extend your right arm out to the side in line with your shoulder and your palm face down. Find that same rooting action against the wall with your right palm, and then begin to turn yourself to the left. your right hip is against the wall or in the direction of the wall, but the right side of your body from your forearm, shoulder, outer hip, inside of your head is just hovering away from the wall. Just keep your right palm really firmly planted into the wall. And then you could keep your left hand to your hip or take it out to the side on an inhale and stretch it straight up overhead. And finding your soft gaze or closing down your eyes. Feel into the steady base of your feet. Softly hug your legs towards one another. Extend back through your right fingertips into the wall with your right palm, and then up overhead with your left fingertips. And see where you can expand your breath into your body. Just a really simple practice today. Take one more big inhale, stretch straight up into your left side. As you exhale, you can open your eyes, stretch your left arm out to the side, and then circle it all the way down, back to your hip. Carefully turn back to face the wall and just step back a footprint and reset in your Tadasana, increasing your sense of body awareness. And step back to the wall, feet hip width. Bring your left palm to the wall, right hand to your hip. Left hand stays rooted and begin to turn yourself to the right. And then finding your adjustment. So your toes don't have to face all the way to the right if it's too much. You could angle yourself in towards the wall as well. And then you can stay here with your right hand to your hip, or circle your right arm out to the side and all the way up overhead. And breathe here. Take another big inhale where you are. And as you exhale, bring your right hand back down to your hip. Rotate yourself to face back and towards your wall. And step back into Tadasana. So feel. And still facing towards your wall, you can center yourself out, feet still hip width, or you can even step them out a little bit wider. Extend your hands forward so you're about arm's distance away from the wall. And set up your hands so the center of your wrists align with your outer shoulders and your index fingers point straight up. So we're about to go into a down dog at the wall here, so you want to set up your hands well. And begin to step your feet back as you walk your hands down, keeping your hands in line with your shoulders. For more support, put a bend of your knees. Actually, everyone put a bend of your knees. Tilt your sit bones back behind you. Anchor your hands into the wall and send your hips back away from the bottom tips of your earlobes so you feel your spine get a little bit longer. And if you can keep this traction and length of your spine, you could slowly begin to straighten your legs towards straight. But sometimes it might feel nice just to keep this little cushion of your knees. And drop the weight of your head so your head aligns between your arms. And breathe here. Find the action of pushing forward into the wall with your hands. Hug the inseam of your arms towards one another from your inner wrists, up your forearms, up into your biceps. Traction your hips back so your spine lengthens. Root down into both of your feet, and then soften your head a little bit. Take really big, spacious breaths into the space that you've created in your shoulders and into your chest. Even here, keep your arms, your legs, and your core active. So even though you're supported in this sideways plane, you want your muscles to recruit as well to support your body in this stretch. Good, and then root into your feet. Take one more cycle of breath here, breathing in slow. Exhaling slowly. Then walk your feet up as you walk your hands up. And reset in Sadasana, just facing toward your wall. Feeling the connection points of your feet on the ground. And turn yourself around to face the center of the room. And this is a good time to grab your blocks if you need them for a forward fold. I'm going to take a supported fold against the wall. So you can start so you're just a little bit away from the wall with your feet hip width or even wider if you need a little bit more support. And then inhale, circle your arms out and up. As you exhale, soft knees, hinge and fold all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen into your spine. Keep your halfway lift as you exhale. Step your feet back about half a footprint until you can rest your glutes against the wall. And then once you feel that extra stability point, you can drop the weight of your head. Keep a soft bend of your knees so you can drape your ribs onto your thighs. And then you can choose what to do with your hands. So you could keep your hands like little tents. You could grab opposite elbows. You could keep your hands on your blocks. You could also drop your backs of hands or forearms down to blocks of the ground and turn your palms up. Really drop the weight of your head, releasing from the base of your neck. And trust your legs to support you here in this mild inversion. What I love about this practice is that it's really supportive and integrated. It helps you connect back to the feeling of support, the feeling of something bigger holding onto you or holding you up. It's this earth connection that we can draw from, like a big battery when we feel like our cup might be a little bit empty. So right now in your fold, feel all the places in your body that are touching something. Feel that sense of support, whether it's a wall or the ground. And then drop yourself further inside your body. This longer holding forward fold is also really great to remind ourselves to connect the feelings of our heart with our intellectual and thinking mind. So mind, body, and heart all in alignment. Really good. So to come out of this, walk your fingertips back forward and halfway lift. Fingertips even more forward. Walk your feet away from the wall. Separate your feet out a little bit wider than hip width. Turn your heels and toes out and bend your knees. You can keep your fingertips supported down, or you could fold your hands to your heart, and we'll take a few breaths in Malasana. And softly open your eyes, fingertips back down. Lift your hips, heel toe your feet back to hip width. Take your hands to your hips, keep your spine long. Integrate down from your glutes down into your feet and rise up with a long spine. From here, take a warrior two, and I'll talk you into it, so we're gonna go slow. So step your feet out wide into a wide stance so that your ankles align underneath your outstretched wrists. And then turn your right toes out. So you have a right heel, left arch alignment, and turn your left big toe in just very slightly. Then bend into your right knee, so your knee tracks over your ankle, and arms stretched out wide. Make sure that you have just a little bit of space behind you, so you're not quite pressed up against the wall yet, but you're close enough that if you lean back, you could touch the wall. And if you need a block, you can come out and grab your block and bring it into your right hand with it outstretched wide. Take a breath in here. And then as you exhale, lower your right hand onto your block, outside your right foot, or down to the ground, and reach your left arm just straight up. And lean your head back a little bit until your head touches the wall behind you. Even take your left hand back a little bit. And then gaze down at the ground. And if you need more support, you can shorten your back stance a little bit, otherwise you're gonna float into it. So walk your right hand or your right block forward, press into your right foot, and lift yourself up into half moon. Allow yourself to lean back into the wall. So your left heel, right glute, possibly left glute, shoulders and back of left hand are against the wall. And just allow yourself to expand open here on all sides. What I love about doing this shape against the wall as well is it helps you to establish your alignment and this feeling of openness, so that when you are in a flow practice and you're in the middle of the room, you have something a framework to come back to. So you can think, how can I keep this alignment and open myself up like there's a wall behind me to support me when I'm in my flow. Take one more big inhale. And then as you exhale, begin to lever yourself back to stand with control and stand in Tadasana away from the wall. This is our reset point. And then we'll take the second side. So extend your arms, step your feet out wide, turn your left toes out, right big toe slightly in, and bend your left knee. Feel your feet against the ground. This time the block would be in your left hand if you're using a block. And then tilt yourself into extended side angle with your left hand outside your left foot. Lean back into the wall, reach your right arm up. If it's too much on your neck to gaze up, just gaze down at the ground. And then we'll all gaze down to help with our balance. Walk your left hand forward slightly on your block or the ground, and now shorten this back foot in a heel toe to help you. And then launch yourself up carefully, and then lean back into the wall. And this is one that's just really nice If you've been sitting or curled up, this opens you in all directions. Take one more big inhale. And as you exhale, leave yourself back up carefully and stand in Tadasana. And softly open your eyes, and this is where your blanket is going to come into handy. So place your blanket up against the wall, and it's just going to add as extra cushion and padding for your knees. And this is one of my favorite quad stretches, but it can be quite intense, so just keep that in mind. You can always take a break as you need. So come into a tabletop position with your knees padded by your blanket and the soles of your feet right up against the wall. From here, slide your point into your right foot, draw your right heel to your glute, and slide your right shin back right up against the wall. Walk your hands back. You could tent them up or also have your hands on blocks. Press into the ground, suction your navel in, and you can just pause here and notice how when you lengthen your tailbone and hug your hips forward a little bit, you get this stretch through the top of your right quad. If you want a little bit more, step your right foot into a low lunge position. And if you want a little bit more, you can either stay high up onto your blocks, interlace your fingers on the top of your left quad, and lift yourself out. So the further you walk your hands back, the further you lean back towards the wall, the more intense it will be on this quad. And we're not going to hold it too long, so the breaths that you do take, I really want you to take them really slow and deep, so your body knows that it's okay to open up. It's okay to allow these hard knots of tension to dissolve. You want even a little bit more, you could reach your arms overhead and clasp opposite elbows, and then lean your head back. Take 3 cycles here. Last one. Really good. And then we'll carefully come out. So take your hands back down to the ground. Fold your left foot back into this tabletop position. Walk your hands forward and slide your right foot back into this tabletop position with the soles of your feet against the wall. And just take a breath here. Feeling difference between the right and left. And we'll do the second side. So hug your left heel towards your glute, point your left ankle. Slide your left shin back towards the wall. Walk your hands back onto blocks or fingertips. And then stay here, lengthening your tailbone in, find a cat round and scoop in. Or step your right foot. You can use as many steps as you need into this low lunge position. Hands can stay down, or you can interlace your fingers to the top of your quad, and then lift yourself more upright. You could breathe here or take your arms overhead and clasp opposite forearm and lean back. And it's completely normal for 2 sides to be different, but breathe into it without any judgment. We'll take 3 rounds here. One more round. And softly open your eyes, shift down and forward. Carefully come out by stepping your right foot back. So walk your hands forward, slide your left knee. And then turn around. And take a moment just to hug your knees into your chest. Then from here, sit so that your right side is against the wall and you can sit onto your blanket just for a little extra height. And we're about to go into legs up the wall. So if you have a different entryway, it doesn't have to look graceful. You just swing your legs up the wall as you lay your torso back. You can have a soft bend, a little wider stance. Place your arms wherever it feels most comfortable. And taking a few breaths at center here. And then if you would like, you can widen your legs and slide them down the wall into a supported straddle shape. I like to keep a little bend of my knees so I can traction and push my heels into the wall so I feel my outer glutes engage. If you would like more support, you could take your hands and cup them to your outer thighs and rest your triceps against the ground so you have two shelves. And there's no need to force. Doesn't matter how wide your legs are right now. So if you feel too much strain, you can always come back to a smaller V shape. If your hands aren't to your legs, bring them to your outer thighs and carefully help your legs back up to either straight up or to a small V. And then send your arms back out, palms face up. And we're going to take our Shavasana here with our legs up the wall. If you'd prefer to take a more traditional Shavasana, you can slide yourself out. Soften your gaze and allow yourself to relax here. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Inviting small movements back into your fingers and your toes, your wrists and your ankles. And stretch your arms overhead, toes straight up. And take your arms back out wide to the side in line with your shoulders. Bend your knees in. And twist your knees over towards the left, taking a supine twist. And guide your knees back through center and twist your knees up and over to your right. And stay on your right and roll onto your right side, extending your right arm out to support your head. And curl in. Gently press yourself back up to a seat with a soft gaze to face the center of the room. You can sit on your blanket and lean your back against the wall. Bring your right hand to your heart and wrap your left hand around your belly. Take these last few moments of class together to feel supported, to feel a little bit more grounded in your body, in your breath, and in your presence. Bring your hands to Anjali Mudra in front of your heart. And this is where we conclude practice. Thank you so much for joining me. In gratitude, namaste.